And, no, I don't like stampede. Well, you know what? Embrace it. Embrace the fun and participation it that it brings, right? And bringing in the community and allowing for you to connect with the community. I have the sun coming straight at me. Better than having the sun, I guess, behind me. Maybe I should have had the sun behind me, but I can't really move the ball. So that's where my lighting is. Plus, it was very chilly in our apartment. Um, because it's a lower level apartment. So coming outside was just like, oh, let me embrace. I need the heat. I need the heat. And then Steve and I went out for a bit and went for a drive. Got ourselves some espresso. Uh, because, so that was really nice as well. So a weekend ahead of ourselves, and it's about taking care of ourselves. Um, I can say for myself, one, restless sleeps, not being able to sleep very well. Taken a long time for me to fall asleep, even though I'm exhausted, tired, and the whole bit. I've, and then once I'm asleep, it's fine. But then I feel like I'm fine for about 3 hours, and then I wake up again, and coming out of an abrupt sleep or just something like that. So, the mind, yes, and with the moon in Pisces, oh, that's one place with the moon. And I have a good friend down, I think, yeah, her moon is in Pisces, and and her sun's in Pisces. Love her. And I could, you know what? I understand those feelings of anxiety, and not to the intensity that she gets. Like, she can get some real crazy, um, you know, with the energies and stuff like that. But um being born with that, and now with Neptune nearing the end and Saturn, coming up to 10 and going to be retrograding, I really or is retrograding, feeling sort of, it's a very emotional, it's a very emotional type of energy that's in there. And it can feel very messy and chopped up, and there's no consistency, because it's like choppy water. That's what I get, like choppy water. So your emotions, your internal core could be feeling this choppiness that's happening. And this is to come to the divine moments, and how to come to the subconscious, and that's trying to rain havoc, bring up things, um, have you stepping into those fears. There's a lot, and especially with the world right now, some of the things that are being said. Oh, China's doing this, Russia's doing that, states are doing this, Canada's doing this, France is there, Norway, blah blah blah. All of these countries, crazy havoc is happening all over the world. And that's where, yes, Uranus is in the depths and the heat of 1938, 1939. It's, there where Jupiter was in there at the same time. And with the nodes switching, we have the nodes switching. So, which will be in about a week or so. It's that anticipation of waiting for the next foot to drop. It's that anticipation of, oh my God, what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next. And it's our minds, freaking out of what's going to be happening next, and looking at, oh, well, this is what happened then, is that going to happen now? So there's that kind of a freak out that's happening within us. And to understand, trying to understand, like, what it is that you want to manifest, and having that, trying to grasp that of what you want to manifest, and feeling like it's out of reach. And there's just, because the emotions are running high, the emotions are going crazy. Now, if you're in the Calgary area, hey Pam, if you're in the Calgary area and stuff, and you're going to Stampede, or you're going to the mall, or you're going somewhere where there's going to be a lot of people, give yourself time, give yourself some room, right? Because you're going to find that some people are going to be upset, some people are going to be mad, they're not going to like that. There's so much happening, right? So allow yourself some time with all of this, because there's this, Yod, all this energy pointing towards Mars, and Mars is coming to the end of Leo, which is going to be in extreme, and the moon's going to go into Aries, and it's going to make that 3/4 square. So it's going to, like, this extremes are going to just feel like out of bounds. So it's going to feel like everything is out of bounds. And so our mental, physical, spiritual energy, this is the pressure on our personal life, pressure on how we're feeling it. And I'm feeling it for my own self, like, what should I do next? Where am I going to go? The company has, that has let me go, hasn't, they still have me on the books that I'm still working there. And it's been 2 weeks now, I guess, 2 weeks. So this is frustrating, right? Because that holds me up on, my next step, on what I need to do, and filing for, the decisions that have to be made within EI and stuff. So there's there's all of that, and that internal eruptions that are going on. So I feel a lot within inside of myself, that these internal energies are just going off and going off and going off. And that mental, so that pressure point is it. So it's taking action with the personal, and especially with, Venus and Jupiter. Venus is going to be going retrograde on the 22nd. It's making, it's making angles over to Jupiter, so that's really going to put some more intensity onto that. And then Jupiter is going to be going retrograde as well. So there's this intensity of, like, that can freeze you, that can make you, oh, I don't want to do anything. I want to go hide. I want to go somewhere else. And that intensity can be very overwhelming. So doing what you need to do. So for me, it's like, okay, I need to connect. What are the things that I need to start doing? New ways of doing my business, or finding out how can I really taking enterprising ways to create more of my business. Because that's what, when I look through my notes and things, what I want is to get up and go when I want to go. I want to be able to, and it's not that I want billions of dollars. It's just like to bring forth a feasible income, have a home base, but, you know, pack the mud up, throw them in the car, her in the car, and have somebody come in and look at the cat, because cat's pretty independent. As long as she has food and water, she's good. And somebody to come in to yell at. That's what she needs, somebody to come and yell at. And just throw the dog and let's go somewhere. Let's, really connect. So here's the next thing, is like, how can I do that where I'm thinking I want to do something grandeur, but maybe this is something that's not going to be grandeur. Maybe this is something that's going to be just local, and stepping into, okay, what can I do that can create that around me, right? Um, to you, what's up today? Yeah, exactly. What's up today? Oh my God. Um, so looking at, those parts and those anxiety that's within you, and taking some action moves. That's the most important. It's like, it's not going to be a revolving door. You're not going to find the revolving door. The revolving door is not going to be there, but what you're going to find is a door, and you're going to have to open that door. So it's like today, I'm thinking, okay, let's just fill up the car. Let's put some gas in the car. And then, okay, this is my mind. Okay, I'm going to put gas in the car, but oh my God, okay, we can't go too far because, what if this and what if that and what, blah, 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 blah. My mind starts going to something extreme, right? So my mind starts really going off the cuff, and I got to remember, okay, the moon is in Pisces right now, and the moon is going over, Uranus, or going over Neptune, and it's bringing in emotional rushes of things that may have happened in the past, or things, these altercations or whatever it is coming through. So taking action with your personal life, going, it's like, it's it's like, okay, you don't want to get out of bed in the morning. Let's say it's been a hell of a night, or you got a hangover, but you have things to do. You got to get up, you got to get going, and you just can't sit around and wait. You can't just sit around and hope that, "Oh, okay, well, maybe, it'll open here. Maybe this will happen." That's not going to create what it is that you are wanting, whatever it is, right? There's some kind of movement that has to be made. So if I want to start to go places, well, let's put some gas. Let's go out of town for a little bit and let's come back in. It's not that I'm going to drive all the way to Penticton and back again. Well, you never know. But this is where, okay, let's go somewhere. Let's step out of that, stuckness. And because you can sit and look, and you want to be happy and you want to create that happiness, but yet you're still sitting in the same pile of shit, right? And you're like, "Oh, I want to be happy," but you're not willing to dig your way out of the shit and move towards what is going to make you happy. It's where, if I do really want to go to Ireland, or I want to go to Stonehenge, okay, how am I going to make that happen? What am I going to do? So creating this energy, first I got to get a passport. I got to get my husband's passport. There's things that have to be done first. Okay, so if that's what I want, well, there's these other things that have to get done first and foremost. So, working on those and making a plan for that, making a strong plan so that um, you can create that and not get, hung up with a lot of the sloppiness, right? And the moon's going to be going into Aries tomorrow and make those 3/4 squares, and that's going to be extreme. And the moon's going to go towards Chiron, so it's going to, then it's going to go into the head, and a lot of things going into the head, and that could be where you beat yourself up and you get angry and you look at the worst case scenario and you begin to unstabilize yourself. And this is where you could see things getting unstable in the world around you, in other people, right? Um, and this is, where Pisces is the internal, and then Aries is the head. It goes to the head, it goes to the, what's going on up here. So allowing for yourself, because nothing's perfect. Nothing is perfect right now. Everything is a big pile of goo. It's messy. But it's got to get messy before it gets better. It's got to get to a point where it's just gooey and yucky, and you got to you got to you got to put the rain boots on, right? And go through it. And maybe you need to get a pair of yellow rain boots. Put something bright on, right? So seeing the bigger picture, the self-care, things looking the way we want them, and it's like we're just like, I want it to look this way, but it looks like that, and I want this to be this way, and it's not. So it's this wheel of fortune that's, constantly moving and constantly spinning. And it feels, especially if you are a fixed sign, this could be feeling unstabilized, like you're feeling unstabilized. And for mutable signs, you're feeling like, oh my god, you'll feel more of the emotion, right? If you're more of a fixed sign, you're that oak tree, there's some movement, but it's like you have to be able to bend a little bit more and go with the ebbs and the flows a little bit more than what you've been going. And the cardinal signs are just like, but I want to go this way. It has to be this way. And it's like, no, we're not going that way. We're not going. So the comfort that you want to feel, especially with the sun in Cancer, I want to feel the comfort. I want to feel the home. I want to smell the home baked cookies. I want to feel, that motherly touch, and just be surrounded with all of that. And it's like, no, we got to focus on other ways to do things, other ways to go, and it's going to be uncomfortable. And if we are able to adjust and move in new ways and move in all of this, I mean, this is where, the other day when I pulled the Kali card, it was like, yeah, it's going to get crazy, because in order for us to find that beauty and that abundance, it's going to bring in the instability. And through the instability is going to allow for us to step into and foster everything else that we need to foster and grow with. So it's, people are freaking out about lab grown meat right now. And I got something sent about lab grown meat maybe coming from fast reacting cells, which were um, the Halley cells, which was an experiment done on a Black woman who had cervical cancer back in the 30s and stuff. Horrific. I mean, they harvested it from her without her knowledge and did a lot of experiments. They beautiful, some information came up, but the family knew nothing. The family received nothing. The woman ended up passing away. And it wasn't till years later that the family really found out all the things that they did to their great grandma, like their great grandmother, their grandmother, and mother. So this is, taking part of those cells, because those cells are still being replicated and used today in many experiments. Um, are they using that in, all of that? Are they using that in lab grown meat? It's like, that's another push to get you to go organic, to go, to make sure you know where you're getting your meat from, connecting with the local farmers and stuff like that. And does that upset me? Yeah, it does. Does that freak me out? Yeah, it does, but it doesn't freak me out as much as me wanting to create my own future, in me creating my own personal life and my business and in the direction I want to create. To me, that's more of the priority it should be. That's where your energy should be focused on, because in doing that helps to change that other vibration, right? Helps to change that. So when you are changing your vibration, when you are changing what you are able to change, then everything else comes into alignment. Everything else comes into that format. And as I said, it's taking the action with your personal self, taking the actions with what you need personally before you can start freaking out over lab grown meat, or over things that China's saying, or things that Russia's doing, and shit like that. So there's things that need to be addressed with inside yourself first and foremost, right? As my mother said, clean up your own backyard before you look into somebody else's. That's what we need to do. You need to clean up your own backyard before you can start looking at all, because in doing that is going to put you towards the energies that you want to work on and go towards. Hopefully that makes sense. Um, because if you're not, if you're just mucking around, it's just going to be even sloppier, right? So it's a pile that we all have to go through. It's a pile that we all are sifting through and moving through at this time. And there's, for many of us, there's a lot of personal healing that needs to be done for our own selves, and for our own mental well-being. And that subconsciousness, the shadowy sides, are coming forward, and they're scaring us. They're putting into us being unstable and feeling you know the lack of, instead of turning around and looking at what is the abundance, where am I abundance, how am I connecting with my true essence, how am I connecting with that energy of me, right? And that's what each of us have to do. How am I connecting with the energies of me and being fully present in the now? What does that mean? Okay, I understand what's going on. I have forecasted a lot of shit that's going to be coming down the chute, and I'm not going to repeat it. A lot of you have heard it. You know the rhetoric. You've heard me talk about a lot of my forecasts and what I've predicted. So it's like, okay, I know that. How am I going to prepare myself? How am I going to work on the things I need to work on myself, mentally, spiritually, and physically, right? Um, Today, I think, with doing so many kriyas that I was doing all at once, kind of also is shifting my vibration, is shifting my energy into something that I'm not used to. It's I very first time I felt a singing bowl. I bought a singing bowl at 10,000 Villages back in Penticton. Oh God, I'm going back over 20 years. More than 20 years. Like, this is um Anyways, and I bought the singing bowl, and when I bought it, I was playing it, and it caused the same energy as I'm feeling now. I'm just recalling this now. It was causing this energy and vibration within me that was making me feel uneasy and very similar to the energy that I'm feeling right now. But what it was doing, and my husband says, "Well, put it away. It's causing havoc." Yeah, it's causing havoc. It's causing a raising of the vibration. It's causing you to step up into the energies. And when you're stepping up into these new energies, yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's havoc. It's emotional. And it's going to clear away the things that aren't in your alignment. And that's what it's done to me. But it's cleared away for me. It's like when things get fucking cleared away, it feels like it's like all at once. It's not just like, oh, let's just clear this table away. No, it's like, okay, we're going to take away your income. We're going to take away this job, and we're going to throw you over here. And you're just going to have to trust and be on this crazy leaky boat right now. And you're like, okay. And that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. So it'll bring in a lot of discord with this all. And so that vibration is really changing. So today I'm sort of like, okay, you know what? I did a little bit of stretching and stuff like that with the yoga, but I didn't do any full kriyas today. I'm going to get back into it tomorrow and do the kriyas and stuff like that and step back into it, which is meaning to get back up at 4:30 in the morning and come back into that discipline. What is that discipline? That means, okay, I'm going to step back into that energy and start, you know, doing it, because it's going to take me not, by the time I'm finished, if I start at about 4:45, I'll be finished by 6:30 in the morning or so. So coming back into that discipline and understanding what it is that each movement is doing for me, and then you know do step into the rest of my day of what it is that I need to do. So it's doing those, opening the doors, and not just sitting there and staring at it and hoping that through osmosis I'm going to learn all of this stuff, right? So learning the fundamentals of Kundalini is going to help me learn the fundamentals of other things that I need to set forth within my own self and within the business that I truly want to grow. And, so on saying that, my 15-minute sale is on for another 9 days. It'll end at the end of Stampede. So I'm going to be doing that for another 9 days. It's $33.33. And we'll go from there, see what's the next thing I'm going to be doing. And working on building what I can build for myself, and really being, this is persistent on it, and this is a hard one for me, right? And not be wishy-washy and sloppy, right, when it's really feeling sloppy. So I really have to, nope, you got to be dedicated. And in this dedication is going to allow for things to evolve. So that's where we're at right now with a lot of this and a lot of this energy. We're in a evolutionary, revolutionary energy of transitioning and evolving. And man, I can feel the intensity, and sometimes I feel the fogginess within my head. So I have to learn to, okay, what can I do to bring in the clarity? And it isn't drugs, like, well, I don't do drugs anyways. But it isn't alcohol. So it's not me grabbing a glass of wine and saying, oh, this is going to help me relax. What are the other ways can help me to relax? It's like, okay, yeah, having that every blue moon, maybe whatever, but not having that as a crutch of pulling that in and say, no, I need a drink of this, or I need my meat, or whatever. This is like, no, you don't need that crutch. And I felt that last night, because when I was drinking, I had some mead, and it's just like, it's not doing anything for me. It's not getting me out of my head. It's okay, but it just wasn't allowing me to align with what I really needed to align with. Put it that way. So, yeah, it's a realization, step by step, day by day. So, Sun, I'm looking at the glyph and it's Mars, the sun, Mars, um, and the moon going into Aries tomorrow. Focus on ways to investment of a commitment to yourself. Look at ways on investment of commitment to yourself. So I'm going to leave it on there. If you're wanting to book, definitely get a hold of me. I'm booking tomorrow, so I have some openings up tomorrow. And if you are wanting a full natal chart, definitely let's get you in and let's look at the energies and how they are affecting you within your world. So blessings, everybody. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you out there. And have a great one. And I think I'm just like burnt my forehead, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Oh yeah, look at that. Woo hoo hoo hoo. So have a great day, everybody. Blessings. Bye bye. Yes, bye bye. Peppy Lou. Talk to you guys all later.